Salamat, paglipas ng pagsubok may darating na araw. Kay tamis ng ating samahan sa likod ng kalungkutan, tunay na kaibigan, kasamang maaasahan. Salamat at tayo'y may pinagsamahan. Salamat, tunay kong kaibigan. Salamat.
National response to COVID-19. Now, last April, the UN also called on governments to provide comprehensive solutions to employment problems at the start of the pandemic. Will the Philippine government adhere to these calls? We discuss in this episode of the Chiefs. Welcome back to the special episode of the Chiefs, and with us tonight are again Lucy Cruz Valdez, the head of News 5, and Ana Marie Pamintuan is already there. We thought you were going to be late. Ana Marie Pamintuan of the Chiefs, and with us tonight
medyo
binaba nila
yung curfew. Tapos ngayon, baka dumami na yung mga nagsha-shopping kasi wala na daw limit sa groceries.
ganun ba? So yung mga five items per per item, hindi wala na ganun.
Wala nang limits.
Kulay sa pagong oh.
Okay, well, let's welcome Robbie Lampay, who's now joining us from the newsroom. Hi, Robbie.
Hoy, kumusta
What's your
kayo?
big story today?
Ano nga ba? Ano bang
Si Gwen Garcia.
Si Gwen Garcia, yung tuob sa Cebu, 'di ba? Noong isang araw lang, we were talking about her with DILG, 'di ba, the other day kasi controversial din siya. A couple of weeks back, she refused to wear a face mask dahil nahihirapan daw siya huminga, 'di ba?
It works now for them.
But in the meantime, the big context there, of course, beyond the personalities, is Cebu is still facing the rising numbers of COVID. So yan talaga isang minamatsagan ngayon ng gobyerno.
Yeah, and again, Roy Simato, the Environment Secretary, takes charge of something beyond the environment.
Nagustuhan yung ginawa niya siguro sa Boracay. Kaya gano'n.
Well, hindi lang Boracay, dinideploy rin siya sa Middle East, at kung saan-saan.
Handyman.
Oh, but yun nga lang, what does it say about the IATF and the other government agencies and the NTF?
For sure. Siya yung may consensus building siya. Kaya mas maganda yung kanyang
Is that his forte?
mas maganda yung kanyang pag-i-enforce na voluntary yung enforcement. Meron siyang
May ganun siya.
Voluntary niya yan
Voluntary compulsory.
may Carino siya kahit nagpapadala ng dagdag na pulis doon. Hindi naman hindi siya hard sell nung niya. Nung kanyang magaling siyang mag-reason out.
Uri naman.
Pero si NCRPO Chief Tibonsinas, magaling na mag-reason out.
Hindi lang tayo.
Hindi. Magaling siya magaling siya makipag-usap. Kaya talaga, mga malisyoso kasi kayo. Teka, let's bring in our guest for tonight. Actually, we have, I think, 3 guests tonight. So let's bring in our first one. Joining us tonight is Undersecretary Benjo Benavides of the Department of Labor and Employment. Of course, we will be talking about the effect of COVID-19 on our labor force. Sir, Yusek, good evening and thank you for joining us.
Good evening po.
Gandang gabi, sir.
Hi, sir. Sir Ed, Ma'am Lucy, Ma'am Ami,
Good evening,
as well as Sir Robin.
Hi.
Good evening.
Sir, if I may just, can we at least lay the baseline first? Kasi we've had some data that was released to us several weeks ago. We'd like to see lang kung may updates. Kasi earlier we were told na mga 7.3 million na po yung nawalan ng trabaho. That's according to PSA. Tapos the DOLE earlier said that we expect another 4 million to lose their jobs before the year ends. So that's a total of mga 11.3 million. We're wondering lang, with the many areas now under GCQ, are we updating these numbers? Are we looking at a better situation as far as employment is concerned? Or ganun pa rin na 11.3 million by year end na wala trabaho?
Well, sir, we continue to monitor job displacement since the early start of the year in view of the Taal eruption. But then again, sir, with respect to, it's true that the PCA issued the survey where there is a 7.3 million unemployed.
Mhm.
But then it is just based on survey. What we have in the department is actually the actual number of job displacement, because under the law, employers are required to report termination of employment. And it's based on our data. We just have a temporary or rather permanent closure or displacement in the number of 90,000 workers.
How many?
This involved 3,100 establishments. But we are projecting that this will increase in the coming months. Madam, sir, since based on our reports coming from the regions, there are already 3,118 establishments reporting permanent displacements. So this is about 90,000 workers. This is based on our actual report. Now,
ano yung distribution of the 3,000 closures? Ano yung distribution po nung companies na yun?
Well, most of these companies are coming from the administrative and support services as well as food and accommodation. When we say displacement report, these are permanent displacement. This is separate from the data that we reported way back in March with respect to temporary closure. We are now, establishment are now deciding to permanently close. And in the next coming months, we are expecting another batch of displaced workers. And in this morning, in the hearing, the secretary made mention that we are expecting 4 million workers to be displaced by the end of the year.
Okay, I think you referred to a couple of sectors. But what about geographically? Are there any particular regions or areas that are particularly hit?
Well, the region that is badly hit is, of course, there's employment creation. We can also cite the Calabarzon, Kalam, but it's actually in the NCR. It's just the most number of this
We seem to be having
worker.
problems with audio. Yeah.
Sir, can you hear us? Yusek, nawawala siya eh.
Actually,
Sir?
malaki
My
ata yung
audio
delay.
clear? I can hear you.
Yes, sir. But I think you're getting delayed significantly. So ang laki ng lag eh. Sir, just to recap, well, you were saying 90,000 workers were actually laid off, 3,000 establishments closed, but you're looking at 4 million total ba yun, sir, for the whole year, by the year end?
Yeah,
4 million?
by the end of the year.
Or additional 4 million. Are we talking about cumulative or an additional 4 million?
It's cumulative actually. Now,
So total yun.
yes. Sir, let me reconcile our data with that of the PCA survey.
Oo nga.
The PSA, yes, sir.
Because based on the PSA survey, already include those workers who were already unemployed prior to the pandemic. So we have, I think, 3 million workers.
Yeah, from
Then
January.
adding 4 million more because of temporary closure. I think that's how we explained with respect to this data, sir and ma'am.
So you're looking at, sir, total of 4 million. That's
yes, by the end of the year.
That's very, very far from the earlier estimates given by some economists, a double-digit unemployment by year end. So parang ang layo po ng in-expect nila.
In percentage yata, 17%.
We'll see by the end of
Talagang mabagal yung kanyang...
I think we're gonna
have 17%.
Oo. Yusek, naririnig niyo po kami?
Yeah, you're clear in...
Yeah, Yusek, how about underemployment? Is that the DOLE also undertaking studies on underemployment during the pandemic? Meron bang figures na gano'n?
Yes.
Mga ilan na kaya siya? Ano yung percentage lang?
Well, we
Talagang masama yung audio niya.
Okay, reset.
Wala.
Okay, we'll try to get Yusek Benavides back in a bit. Siguro let's recap lang what we heard from Yusek Benavides.
Medyo yung...
Well, one of the things he said was sectors-wise, administrative, support services, manufacturing,
food accommodations.
Food, most.
Tourism.
Hotel. So,
And then in terms of geographic locations, NCR is not a surprise, but Calabarzon, he mentioned, he didn't quite delve and dive deep into which particular regions, but Calabarzon was definitely worth a mention for him. And again, not a surprise. Manufacturing, maraming mga export processing zones doon sa Calabarzon.
Export zone. Sa Manila, yung mga
tapos mukhang formal tsaka mukhang formal workers to I mean, I think the numbers he's citing are formal workers. Wala pa dito yung informal sector.
Yeah.
Nakabalik na yata si Yusek. Tingnan uli natin. Hi, Yusek.
Hi, sir.
Yes, ma'am. I'm nan.
Hi. Talagang mahina yung audio. Mahina pa rin yung audio.
Sir, can you speak, sir? Can we hear you?
Mahina pa rin.
Sir, konti pong ano. Can you hear us, sir?
Hi, sir. Hi, ma'am.
Okay na. Okay, we were talking about underemployment, Yusek. Kung ano yung status ng underemployment.
Ikot.
Yes. Ano na po yung sa underemployment figures ninyo?
Prior to COVID, we had 5.6 million underemployed.
Yes.
And based on the latest PSA survey, it increased to 6.4 underemployed person. So there's an increase of more than 1 million underemployed individuals. Yeah, that's understandable because more workers are needing more time for work or income.
Yeah.
So, sir,
In the meantime, sir,
anong plano ninyo, sir, dito sa mga nawalan na ng trabaho at mawawalan pa ng trabaho? Anong pinaplano ng DOLE?
Well, we have one fundamental response to that is, of course, to get everything to normal, and that is giving them work. So that's why we are easing the lockdown so that economic activity will resume. But then again, we cannot dispute the fact that there will be many who will not get jobs in the near future.
Yes.
And that's where our social protection program comes in.
Yes.
The department will also,
yes.
Okay.
the department also
and help na pwedeng ibigay immediately.
Well, of course, ma'am, they can avail of the unemployment insurance benefits. That's a financial assistance for 2 months. And for the informal sector workers, we do provide emergency employment. This is what we call as the TUPAD, tulong panghanap buhay para sa disadvantaged worker. These are emergency employment.
Ano po yung emergency employment?
Well, this is a program where government provides work to displaced worker. So pwede po silang tumulong sa paglilinis. They can also be hired by local government units.
May suggestion si Senator.
During the pandemic, we implemented emergency employment. Okay.
Yung pong build, at saka lahat po ng mga government project, ang suwestiyon ni Senator Ontiveros ay mag-hire na lang ng imbes na kumuha pa ng mga foreign workers. Kasi napag-isipan din na dapat mga pwedeng payagan ng bumalik yung mga foreign workers na natenga rito for a while sa COVID at pinayag-uwi. Pero ang sabi ni Senator Risa, hindi ba dapat nga i-prioritize ang mga Pilipino?
Delay ulit.
Ma'am Lucy, this actually in article at the Department of Labor and Employment. We have hire more workers rather than mechanizing construction projects. This wise, we will be able to hire more workers, more warm bodies. But we are looking actually the data of hiring that employment of foreign nationals.
Masama yung
Okay. Yeah, I think the connection is really bad.
Talaga.
Sir, we'll try to get Yusek Benjo Benavides back maybe in some other episode later on when we have a much better connection. So we'll have to cut the interview short kasi hindi magkaintindihan, sayang lang naman yung pagkakataon. Tsaka sayang din ng oras ni Yusek Benavides. So maraming salamat po kay DOLE Undersecretary for Labor Relations and Social Protection, Yusek Benjo Benavides. Thank you for joining us. We will just go into a break, so please stay with us. Sakit sa tenga, wala akong intindihan masyado. Sakit sa tenga.
Good evening.
Salamat at tayo'y magkasamang muli. Salamat, paglipas ng pagsubok may darating na araw. Kay tamis ng ating samahan sa likod ng kalungkutan, tunay na kaibigan kasamang maaasahan. Salamat at tayo'y may pinagsamahan. Salamat, tunay kong kaibigan. Salamat.
Welcome back to Chiefs here on One News. Now joining us is Undersecretary Rene Glenn Pahe of the Department of Social Welfare and Development. Yusek Pahe, welcome po to the Chiefs.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sirs. And
Good evening, sir.
good evening to our viewers.
Yusek, kanina lang po binabasa ko yung balita that we're preparing for a second round of and a second tranche of assistance and social amelioration program for people. Bago po tayo magpunta doon, kamusta po ba muna yung current and the first tranche ng ating mga assistance sa ating mga kababayan?
Yung first tranche po, medyo malapit na tayo sa, or halos natapos na po tayo. Actually, around 99.8 billion pesos has already been distributed to around 17.65 million beneficiaries. This is for the first tranche, of course. In addition to this, more than 785 million pesos were distributed to around 98,000 transport network vehicle and public utility vehicle drivers in the National Capital Region. So also among the local government units, they have distributed aid to around 13.31 million low-income non-pantawid pamilyang Filipino program or non-4Ps families amounting to around 80.6 million. So yun na rin po ang ating status. All in all, around 1,545 out of 1,634 LGUs have achieved 100% completion rate in the distribution of the SAP for the first tranche.
Okay. Now, Yusek, what would you say was the biggest lesson sa distribution ng first tranche that and at the same time, what assurance do we have that those the birthing pains for that program will have been addressed by the time we start rolling out for the second tranche?
For the first tranche, we have to admit that there had been some challenges, a lot of challenges, since we are implementing this magnitude of aid to a lot of people, to 18 million people. So there have been challenges, and we have learned from these challenges na kita na rin po natin yung mga naging problema, and we are applying solutions so that this will no longer happen in the second tranche. In fact, we have explored other means like the digital payment platforms. We have launched yung Relief Agad so that beneficiaries can register direct to the DSWD data bank and lessen procedures for encoding and other validation requirements. So lahat po yan ay magsasama-sama, and we expect faster and more efficient distribution of aid for the second tranche.
Okay. So bottom line po, when you say faster, gaano kabilis po ngayon ang distribution ng second tranche? Ano pong pwedeng asahan ng ating mga kababayan?
Unang-una po, yung sa mga 4Ps, dahil medyo maayos na yung mga records niyan, so we were able to download around 6.7 billion to 1.3 million beneficiaries. Madali lang po yun. In less than a week's time, they were able to get their emergency subsidies. And once na maiayos na po natin lahat ng sistema, mas mabilis din po makakarating doon sa mga non-core fees at saka doon sa mga waitlisted beneficiaries natin. We have started this in Cordillera Autonomous Region, in some areas in Pampanga, and kasunod na po yung mga ibang regions na naging maayos or naiayos na yung mga validation and liquidation processes.
General, if I may, General, konti paglilinaw lang po dun sa numbers kasi hanggang ngayon po nagugulan ako dun sa numbers na talagang target natin for the second tranche po, second tranche. Kasi yung first tranche po, 18 million yon na merong mga 4.4 million na 4Ps tapos mga 13.6 million na non-4Ps. Ito pong second tranche, ano po mga numbers ang ating titingnan na beneficiaries? Finally, kasi iba-iba po narinig namin from iba-ibang mga opisyal. Merong 5 million, may 4.2 million, merong 12 million. So finally po, ano ho yung total talaga natin for the second month?
For the second tranche, around 13.5 million na families po ang in-expect natin makatanggap kaagad ng aid.
13.5.
Pardon me, sir?
13.5 po. Opo, tama. 13.5. Go ahead po. 13.5 million.
Yes, kasama na po dito yung naiulat natin, yung 5 million from the weighted list, and those that will come from the areas declared or still under ECQ. Ito po yung mga areas na under sa Executive Order 112 and doon sa memorandum ni Executive Secretary.
Yun naman po. So 13.5 million, kasama na po dyan yung 5 million na bago, tapos mga 8.5 million siguro na nasa ECQ pa. Tama ho ba?
Tama po. There will definitely magkakaroon pa po ito ng adjustment as the data come up, kasi po yung mga ibang LGUs are still coming up with their validated lists.
So yun na po yun. Sarado na po ang tindahan doon. 13.5 million. Malayo po yun doon sa 18 million na first month natin eh. So yun na po. Yung 4Ps po, hindi pa kasama dito?
I think kasama na po. Kasi yung iba po dyan, ang madadagdag pa are the waitlisted na hindi po nabigyan ng ayuda noong first tranche. So some beneficiaries will have double na matatanggap ngayon po dahil yung sa first tranche, and if they're still under ECQ sa second tranche, then they are entitled to the same amount of benefits.
Yusek, puntahan ko lang yung isa pang problema that has emerged during the pandemic. Dumadami daw yung mga cases of domestic violence, yung sexual exploitation of children. Ano bang capability ng DSWD to provide assistance to victims of this abuse?
Ang services po ng DSWD dyan is they provide psychosocial interventions. We have these services ng ating social workers po. They conduct yung needs assessment so that they can determine kung anong intervention ang kakailanganin. May mga centers po tayo na open na pwedeng pagkonsultahan ng mga victims po nito.
May record ba kayo kung ilan na yung natulungan ng DSWD o nadala sa mga centers na ito? Mga bata, mga babae, battered women, and maybe baka lalaki. Meron bang I'm sorry, hindi ko po, wala po sa akin yung data ngayon, but based on what I can recall is there have been around 733 gender-based violence cases that have been recorded. Sa Philippine Commission on Women, I think there are also
133 cases as of late May. So hindi ko pa po as of now wala po sa akin yung records, but I can look that up tomorrow if you still need the data.
Kumusta po yung services na usually nare-rent sa mga victims ng sexual abuse domestically? Gayong may quarantine ngayon at hindi kayo, I'm sure you're also hampered, no? Yung social workers niyo. So,
Ma'am, excuse me ma'am, sorry, medyo choppy po yung dating, ay hindi ko po naintindihan yung...
Kumusta po yung services ninyo, yung delivery of services to victims of domestic abuse? Ganong, I'm sure, hampered po kayo ng quarantine.
Tama po, we have limited personnel to attend to all the services that are supposed to be delivered by DSWD. More than that, yung limited mobility and limited access po natin sa mga dapat mabigyan ng tulong because of the health issues, because of the COVID and the ECQ limitations that we are experiencing. Ganon pa man po, our personnel in the DSWD are very committed at in fact dahil po sa kanilang mga commitment, may mga issues na rin po, may mga kawani na po tayo na-infect ng COVID. I think around 19 of them, and several hundreds have also been forced to go on self-quarantine just to make sure. So yan po yung limitations natin actually.
So,
Sir, may iba na...
Sige.
On another topic na po, because over the past few days, parang lumalaki po tong problem na to. Yung locally stranded individuals, yung mga nasa strand po sa syudad. What is the DSWD doing? Kasi kahapon kausap namin ng DILG, it seems to still be on the level of, well, kakausapin namin and we'll talk to different agencies and so on. Sa parte po ng DSWD, malinaw po ba ang pwedeng gawin para matulungan ng mga itong mga locally stranded individuals?
Tama po. Ang case po ng locally stranded individuals ay hinaharap po ng task force or a task group in the interagency task force at this is led by DILG, but DSWD is one of the member agencies dito. For our part, ang DSWD po provides also psychosocial intervention and needs assessment. At meron din pong binibigay tayo na tulong katulad ng sa hygiene kits, family food packs, sanitation kits and other similar items para naman po medyo ma-alleviate yung conditions ng mga stranded individuals natin. Kailangan, meron din po tayong naibibigay sa mga LSIs natin kung sila ay under yung atin pong assistance to individuals in crisis situations, so they can avail of that. At marami na rin po tayong natulungan, around I think 1,000 plus LSIs have already availed of this DSWD program.
Kasama din ba kayo, sir, sa contact tracing? You mentioned na yung iba yung tao na-infect na ng COVID. Are you also being tapped for contact tracing purposes?
Rarely po ma'am, sapagkat hindi yun po ang aming competence. That's not within our line of work. But what I was trying to tell you a while ago is that some of our frontliners have been infected with COVID. Work-related po ito dahil sila yung mga humaharap sa mga tao, sa mga sa public. So I think doon nila nakuha ito.
Yusek, yung Department of Foreign Affairs, yung budget nila ay medyo bawas-bawas na dahil sa kaka-repatriate nga nila ng mga OFWs. Matanong ko lang kayo, kumusta ang budget ninyo ngayon? Dahil grabe na talaga yung nangyayaring realignment ng mga budget dahil sa COVID. How are you doing, the department itself?
Ganon din po, like most of the agencies, we were affected by the memorandum circular. I think yung 580 doon sa memo ng DBM. At so far we are managing. Wala po ako sa hindi po under sa akin yung budget, but what I know is we're managing at karamihan naman po ng aming budget is para sa grants. Yung administrative costs po ay yun ang medyo nahihirapan din tayo.
Yes.
Yung budget po nyo, ang House of Representatives ang ang magde-deliberate. And recently, they berated the USECs, yung mga undersecretaries ng department, hindi naman daw yung secretary. Ano pong masasabi nyo doon?
Ma'am, pakiulit po yung medyo hindi ko naintindihan.
May criticism yung mga membro ng Congress na kasi sila magde-deliberate ng budget nga eh. Pero mukhang hindi sila maligaya sa performance nga daw nung mga lower executives ng departamento nyo. Ano pong masasabi ninyo doon?
Meron naman pong ginawa silang inquiry and I think they are entitled to their opinion, but what I can say is hindi po nagpapahinga ang DSWD, hindi po nagpapahinga yung mga kawani ng DSWD, and we do our best to deliver the services that are due our public, our clientele. I think they are entitled to their opinion, and then siguro give us time to evaluate matters. In the end, makikita naman po natin kung ano talaga yung nangyari or kung ano talaga yung performance.
Okay, Yusek, pasensya na po, pero papahirapin pa natin lalo yung trabaho nyo. Alam naman natin mahirap na yan. But dineclare na rin ng Pag-asa a couple of weeks ago, official start of the rainy season. Ramdam na po natin yan. Paano po yan? Pagka bumubuhos ng ulan, alam naman natin yung mga kaakibat na problema niyan. How will the DSWD be able to cope with all of the seasonal things that we're expecting, the annual things that we anticipate on top of everything na nangyayari pa sa COVID?
Ang mga field offices po natin ay meron namang mga naka-stockpile na relief goods, and they have personnel trained to deal with these emergencies. So yan na po yung ating naging, if I may use the term, bread and butter na nila yan. So they are ready, our field officers are ready. More than that, yung mga LGUs po natin who are the first responders, sila naman po ay nakahanda rin, at DSWD is not alone in giving this aid, this relief to our people in times of emergency. So yun po
Yusek, alam nyo yung donor fatigue, yan ang sinasabi nila na maaaring maging malaking problema sa nalalabi pang 6 na buwan ng taon, lalo na pag dumating yung mga bagyo at wag naman sana, but other calamities. What are you thinking of now in terms of compensating for what will likely be a case of donor fatigue eventually?
Sa ngayon po, syempre we rely on the funding from the government that has been allocated. Yung donations na naman po, inaasahan natin, ipina-factor in po natin yan, but we are not totally dependent on that. And we are aware that donor fatigue may set in. But just like our past experiences, I'm sure hindi naman po ito natutuyuan, and we find means to get the resources so that we can support whatever whatever help that we can deliver to our constituents.
All right.
Okay. Undersecretary Rene Glenn Pahe of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, maraming salamat po.
Thank you po.
And please stay with us. The Chiefs will be right back.
Sino na?
30. Ma'am, may 30 seconds po.
Si ano na to, no? Alessandro Abella?
Opo, General Alessandro po.
Opo, ma'am.
Welcome back to the Chiefs here on One News. We are now in the final stage of our episode tonight. And now joining us is Police Brigadier General Alessandro Abella, who heads the Philippine National Police Women and Children's Protection Center. Good evening po, General.
Good evening po, ma'am. Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat.
Yes, welcome po.
Good evening po.
Magandang gabi po.
Tanong lang namin kasi simula daw nung nag-umpisa yung quarantine, more than 3,600 cases of domestic violence ang na-record na ninyo. And now there's a report from the Associated Press na the Philippines has become a hotspot for sexual exploitation of children. Ano na bang status na itong mga problema to ngayon?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, ma'am, yung nagkaroon po tayo ng, we have observed that a significant, actually, if you will compare it with the same period noong pong nakaraang taon, noong pong January to March, prior to the nagkaroon tayo ng lockdown, we recorded a 7,313 cases of violence against women and children cases. And noong pong March 15 to May 31, during ECQ, no nagkaroon po ng lockdown, we recorded a 4,030 cases of violence against women and children. Ngayon po, but if we will compare it with the same period last year, medyo may pagbaba po ng 45%. But hindi po natin sinasabi na yung decrease, may mga factors po kaya nag-decrease dahil nagkaroon po ng lockdown. So naturally, may difficulties sa reporting system, transportation, something like that. So,
yes, sir, ang 45% hindi po maliit ang 45%, kalahati po 'yan ng but then again like you said like you said, factor din ng lockdown sa reporting eh. So marami ring nakakalabas para makapag-report. So that may baka we're not yet seeing the real numbers po, ganun ba? Baka hindi pa 'to yung real numbers mismo.
Ganun po yung aming tingin po diyan. Kaya kami po ay naghahanda sa panibagong bagong situation with the new order of things na ito. Nagbukas na naman at balik na tayo. Nagkaroon na ng mga economic processes, nagkakaroon na ng konting movement ng transportation at gumanda na yung reporting system. So, naghahanda po kami na magkaroon po ng increase at naghahanda naman. We are adopting new police operational procedures na mag-a-adapt sa bagong normal. So, actually, nung pong nagsimula na matapos yung lockdown, yung from a period of until from June 1 to June 2, as of this date, nagkaroon din ng additional new reported cases na 388 cases.
Madami yun.
Opo. Nationwide po yun, ma'am. Opo.
Yung OSEC po, yung online sexual exploitation of children, ano po yung figures natin?
Yung OSEC po, actually, OSEC is a transnational crime. Ano po yan? Yung mga ibang mga offenders po niyan ay galing sa mostly European countries. Mga taga Netherlands, mga ganong klase, Australians, British. Yan naman po, yung mga cases na ganyan, kipagtulungan po sa atin yung ating counterparts at malaking bagay din yung kanilang tulong dahil na-identify natin agad yung offender, pati yung contact nila dito. And nagkakaroon tayo ng tracing, nagkakaroon tayo ng intel operations. Kaya po kami nakakapagsagawa ng mga rescue operations. Nakapag-rescue tayo ng mga victims. At the same time, nakikipag-coordinate tayo sa mga foreign counterparts at nagsasagawa din sila ng arrest sa kanilang bansa.
But, sir, if I might just ask po, I mean, it just, ewan ko ba, impression lang to. I mean, I don't have the numbers right now. But it seems to me that we hear these stories every 2 or 3 years or so. Parang may malaking balita na, sa Pilipinas na naman, meron na namang grenade, meron na namang nahuli ng mga pedophile, meron na namang mga online operations. What is the key insight here on bakit hindi masugpo-sugpo itong problemang ito?
Ganun nga po. Ito na po yung panibagong klaseng krimen sa pagbabago ng panahon. Yung pag-improve ng teknolohiya, ito napaka-accessible ng cellphones, napaka-accessible ng computers sa lahat ng, lalo maging sa ating mga kabataan, pati ang ating internet, napakadali magkaroon ng signal at yung ating mga cell sites, napakarami na. So gano'n na po yung panahon. Napakadali ng communicate, lumiit ang mundo, kaya English speaking ang mga Pilipino, kaya nagiging target ng mga European countries. Madaling makipag-communicate kumpara sa, halimbawa, Myanmar, Vietnam, gano'n na hindi, medyo mahirap. Hindi katulad dito sa atin na kahit simpleng English ay madaling maintindihan. Yun po siguro yung factor na. Pero ang naging factor din kaya dumadami ating records dahil ito nga po, yung pakikipag-coordinate ng FBI sa atin at saka yung mga Australian police, British, ang laking nakagawa po kami ng mga rescue operations. Kaya yung record natin medyo gumaganda. Although sabihin na may mga cases, pero yun po ay initiated po ng aming unit. Kaya nagkakaroon po tayo ng mga cases po na gano'n.
Pero hotspot na daw tayo.
Katulad,
Sige, sir.
yes ma'am, can I answer ma'am? Kaya kung po nabanggit, siguro isang factor yun ay yung ang ating bansa ay predominantly English speaking. Mga kabataan sa atin kahit papaano, hanggang pinakamalayong baryo madaling makapag-communicate ng wikang English. Hindi katulad sa iba, katulad nga sa Asian countries, medyo mahirap. Kaya nagiging target tayo ng mga foreign pedophiles.
Sir, yung pong problema natin sa vowsy, lalo na ngayon sa panahon ng quarantine, yung mga abusive spouses, alam nyo na, maraming mga ganyan, napipilitan ngayon silang magsama over this long period at mahirap mag-report. Marami na ba kayo, kumusta ang number of reports, kung meron man, na natatanggap ninyo ng mga abused wives or women or children? Hindi na online, yung talagang nabubugbog.
Opo, ma'am. Bali, actually, ang unit po namin, bukod sa WCPC dito sa headquarters, ang buong kapuluan po ay may Women and Children Protection Desk sa bawat mga munisipyo hanggang sa may pinakamalayong sitio. Sa pamamagitan po niyan, makakapag-report po yung ating mga nabibiktima ng violence against vulnerable sector society, ang kababaihan niya at ang mga kabataan. Kasi po ito ay private crime at saka nangyayari po usually sa loob ng bahay. Basically po, ang karaniwan sa aming natatanggap na report, masakit man sabihin, kung yung iba kamag-anak po, magulang.
Saka, siyempre, natatakot po silang mag-report, no?
Opo,
so,
opo.
Encourage, paano yung nahihikayat ang kamag-anak, kapamilya, kapitbahay, no? Meron mo bang ganun na network?
Meron po, ma'am. Kaya nga po, meron kaming hotline at the same time yung awareness campaign namin sa mga different regions, municipalities, hanggang sa mga malalayong isla. And nakikipagtulungan din po tayo sa local government units, pag sa barangay, meron na sila doong barangay Women's and Children Desk para iparating sa mga vulnerable sectors na hindi sila nag-iisa at ina-encourage natin na sila mag-report because ito po ay karapatang pantao basically. Hindi lang bilang babae o bilang bata. Talo yung nababiolate dito, karapatang pantao na pinapaliwanag po namin yun na dapat they must come to the open.
Pero sir, may programa po ba tayo na mas...
How are you doing things differently? Kasi COVID sir. So how are you doing things differently? Given the circumstances.
Yes, ma'am. Ayun nga po. Marami po kami mga kampanya na awareness campaign at saka yung sa pagtulungan sa different government agencies kasama yung DSWD, lalong-lalo na yung...
pero sir, I think I actually wanted to ask relative din po doon. No? Yung awareness campaign, maganda rin po doon. Kasama niyo po kami dyan in trying to get the word out, of course, encouraging people to report. But I think yung tanong po ni Luchi is, ano pong ibang gagawin natin to proactively and more actively somehow get to these people who need help? Given na precisely, hindi man lang sila makalabas sa kalye, hindi man lang sila makalabas. We can let them know na may mga special desk sa mga barangay, pero given na hindi nga sila makakapunta man lang sa barangay, ano pong mga iniisip natin na mga bagong pamamaraan to if not meet them halfway, to actively I don't know, to actively mangumusta man lang sa ating mga kababayan. I mean, ano po ba? I don't know what I don't necessarily have a suggestion, but kayo po, ano pong mga naiisip nyo at anong mga bagong programa to proactively reach out and try to see how people are doing inside their homes?
Yes, ma'am. Bukod dun po sa ating mga awareness campaign na ganyan, may directive din kami sa mga pinakamalalayong mga lugar natin, maging sa mga island, na they should use yung all available logistical resources. Sa tulong na rin po si makipagtulungan sa mga local government units. Halimbawa, yung pagka hindi ma-reach ng malalayong lugar, use the available boats. Kung may problema sa transportation, kung may available na... Actually, bawat mga municipal police station sa amin, mga mobile cars yan, pinapupuntahan po namin mismo sa mga aming mga women and children protection na officers, na mga trained po yan. May mga psychology expert yan para makipag-usap sa kanila, para lalo na sa mga kabataan. Pinupuntahan po nila yan sa tulong po ng barangay. Lalo nakikipag-coordinate sila directly sa barangay. Maging dito po sa headquarters, nakikipag-coordinate kami sa barangay para po ma-reach out yung mga reported po na mga ganon. So physically, pinipilit namin marating po yung mga lugar.
But do we actually have enough resources? Kasi marami din kaming nakukuhang report na yung ibang barangay ni ayaw tumulong kasi ang feeling nila domestic problem yan. And then we're asking the DSWD, do we have enough resources? Anong maasahan ng tao? Halimbawa, you're a victim, punta ka sa pulis, punta ka sa barangay. Saan pupunta yung bata? Meron ba tayong halfway house for them? Kasi usually, kapag nagkaroon ng ganyang problema, pag tagal-tagal, yung bata ibabalik din dun sa abusive parents. Ano bang maaasahan ng mga tao by way of help from the government? And do we have enough resources for this?
Actually, ma'am, as per experience, nakakatulong naman po yung DSWD natin. Kung may operations kami, prior to undertaking the operations, nakapaghanda na po kami ng mga shelter houses. At saka yung during the lockdown, pati yung kanilang mga yung protective equipment, yung face mask, lahat-lahat, nakahanda po yan. Maging victim or offender, tinutulungan na rin namin para syempre yung to avoid the transfer of yung virus. Lahat po. This is a holistic approach. Ika nga, talagang malaking tulong din naman DSWD and mga stakeholders natin na handa makipagtulungan. Kasi nga,
yung bata magiging ward of the state ba yon? Or ita-turn over sa ibang kamag-anak? Will the abused child be a ward of the state? Or ita-turn over ba siya sa kamag-anak or a guardian na kamag-anak?
I-determine po na with the DSWD, kung may guardian na malapit at saka yung mapagkakatiwalaan naman, we will assess, ibinibigay po natin. But kung medyo questionable din or usually DSWD mag-determine kung sila na mismo mag-take over this bata.
Kaya nga. Saan pupunta yun? Kasi kahit nung matagal na, ganyan yung nababalitaan namin.
Opo.
Round up yung mga batang inabuso. After a while, balik lahat dun sa mga magulang din eh. Tapos sasabihin ng mga social worker, wala namang kaming facilities, wala kaming resources to take care of all of them. Paano yun? Lalo naman ang pulis na walang facilities. Anong resources ba ng gobyerno for this?
Actually, ma'am, sa amin naman sa PNP, kahit pa paano sa women's desk namin at sa mga police station, naghahanda po kami ng para sa mga lugar, para sa mga bata talaga with all available means kahit na kahit pipilitin namin aming mga akaya na makagawa ng room para sa kanila with our ample resources, of course. But yung napakalaking tulong talaga ng DSWD sa amin sa aming mga operations na ito, ma'am. Yun po, pagka wala po talaga tayo mahanap na resort na shelter houses, may hirapan po tayo niyan.
General, if you don't mind my asking, if you don't mind my asking, General, I mean, it may sound a bit politically incorrect, pero I think I had to ask this. Kayo po ang head ng Women and Children Protection Center. I would think that some people would also be asking, bakit po hindi babae ang head ng Women and Children Protection Center?
Ganun po, sir.
I just asked that as a theoretical level. Sa tingin ho ninyo, paano sasagutin yung ganung tanong?
Pantay-pantay po tayo kung tatanungin na kahit na with equal po ang treatment sa atin. Nagkataon lang po ako ang nasa dito. Actually, yung problema pong Women and Children Protection, hindi lang po lamang po pang women as heading the organization. In fact, sa mga foreign counterparts namin, majority male din yung mga commanders.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi problema po ito talagang hindi biro. Talagang both men and women, concern po dito katulad ko. Ako ay pamilyado rin. And relate po talaga ako. Actually, hindi na po dapat sa air, pero actually, lahat po ng I have 3 daughters, ganun yun. Nakaka-relate po ako. Okay. Walang voice.
Okay po. That's a good answer.
So, wala po yun. Para sa akin, protector po ako ng women and children. Kahit na ako'y male. Patay lang po.
Okay, that's a good answer po. Salamat po.
Thank you po.
Salamat po, sir.
Thank you.
Salamat po.
Okay. Maraming salamat po si General Alessandro Abella. Yes, sir. Baka may gusto kayong didag.
Maraming salamat din po, sir. At huling salita po, I'm encouraging yung ating mga vulnerable sectors ng society, yung women and children, na ayun nga, they should come to the open. Hindi po kayo nag-iisa. Andito po kami, ang Women and Children Protection Center, Women and Children Protection Desk sa pinakamalayong isla o anong part niya ng ating bansa ay nakahandang tumulong po sa inyo. May mga policewoman po tayo dyan ng mga investigators na normally may mga training po sila, mga psychology expert, marunong humawak ng makipag-usap sa mga bata, sa mga kababaihan. Pipilitin po natin ang aming maakaya na kayo matulungan po. Hindi po kayo nag-iisa.
Okay. Maraming salamat po. General Alessandro Abella, ang pinuno ng Women and Children Protection Center ng PNP. General, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you po.
Salamat po.
Okay. And I had to ask it. Kasi mapapansin mo rin naman kasi kahit sa precinct level kasi ang women's desk is usually manned by a woman. But, on the assumption, but then again, this is an assumption, the assumption that mas madalis ang lapitan ng kapwa babae kaysa pag lalaki naka-presto.
Although meron din mga victim ng domestic violence na lalaki, ha?
That's also true. Yeah, that's also true. So, yeah. But yeah. Alam mo kami mga takusa, alam namin mga ganyang bagay.
Ay, na-apin na misis mo, no? Huwag mo sabihin yan.
Okay. Okay na yun. Sige. I suppose we should call it a night. That's a wrap for tonight. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for our free account at signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. That will be all for this special edition of the Chiefs. We hope what was discussed here will keep the conversation going. I'm Ed Lingao of One News.
I'm Mami Paminton of the Philippine Star.
I'm Lucy Cruz Valdez of News 5.
I'm Robbie Alampay and we are One News.